Hey everyone, what's up and welcome to the channel. We are back today and we're going to be playing some more of the first Descendant. Now, the first two Descendants you're actually able to unlock in this game are Bunny followed by Freyna. They're honestly two of the coolest characters in the game, and so we're going to be teaching you how to unlock each of them step by step, mission by mission, exactly what you need to do. So it's pretty foolproof. You can't make any mistakes. All you gotta do is follow the steps and you'll have them in no time. I just wanted to say all the footage that you guys watched today as well comes from my Twitch stream. Link to that will be in the description if you guys want to follow me and watch me over there. We'll be playing lots, and that's where you can come and hang out and just talk to me live. But moving on, we're going to talk about how to unlock Bunny first. She's a fairly simple character to unlock. If you've played the game for a decent amount of time already, you've probably already unlocked her naturally just by progressing. But a lot of the materials that you need to unlock her take place in the starting area called Kingston. There are 4 total items that you're going to need to collect to unlock her. The first of which are Bunny's enhanced cells, and you're going to be able to collect this by starting and completing a mission called Vulgus Field Generator. Once again, this is in Kingston. You pretty much run up to a house, you got to clear out some enemies, and you got to take care of a shielded target. After you do so, you'll complete it and you'll have yourself the enhanced cells. Next up, we're going to be moving on through Kingston. You're going to be searching for the Bunny stabilizer, and you can do so by starting and finishing a mission called the Magister Lab. You'll be running through some outdoor areas into a cave into the Magister Lab, and once you clear out a bunch of enemies, you will once again have the Bunny stabilizer. The third item though that we are looking for is called the Bunny Spiral Catalyst. Now, for this one, you gotta do the mission called Vulgus Data Transmitter. This mission consists of you protecting 2 data transmission points, A and B. Once you've completed both of these, the mission is pretty much done. I was playing with my friend Razor and he was AFK during this. I ended up having to do a mission scale for 2 people by myself, and it was a good challenge, but it's still very easy to do, so you guys will knock this out of the park, no problem. Now, the fourth and final part you need to unlock Bunny is something you got to progress through the story a bit more to get. It's not very far, but you will have to complete a couple more story missions. If you are looking for the story missions, they are the purple indicator icons on your map. Go through those, complete those, make sure you're doing the main missions, not the side quests. Eventually, you'll make your way back to Albion, and you're gonna want to take on the Grave Walker boss. You can do this in normal difficulty. You don't have to do it in hard difficulty. Once you defeat this boss, who honestly is a little bit of fun, you can do it with some friends. He's got some weak spots. You can fly up on him, punch him a couple times, rip his critical parts off. It's a very fun fight considering it's your first boss. And once you do so, you'll be presented with 3 rewards. You're gonna want to make sure you choose the proper reward, because one of them is the amorphous material pattern for Bunny. This is the final component we've been looking for to complete her build. If you don't choose this, you'll actually end up having to go back and fight him again. And upon completing it, you'll be able to choose the rewards you didn't select last time. So make sure you choose Bunnies. It's a one and done ordeal. After you get this material, you now have all 4, and you're going to want to make your way back to Albion again and go talk to Magister Aeneas. They'll be the character who are capable of crafting Bunny along with a lot of the other Descendants who all require parts just like Bunny did. On top of all the components that we just unlocked, it also requires 100,000 gold in game. Deliver those together and you'll be able to craft Bunny, and I'm pretty sure it only takes like a minute at most to actually craft her. So yeah, that's it. You get Bunny. And now we're going to move on to how to unlock Freyna. Freyna honestly takes a lot longer to unlock than Bunny. Bunny was the starting character, and Freyna is actually a little bit of work. Just like Bunny though, you also need 4 components in order to unlock Freyna. To start things off, we're going to be looking for Freyna's amorphous material pattern first, and you're going to have to do so by going to a zone recon mission in Rockfall called the Vulgus Strategic Outpost. One thing you guys are going to notice really quickly that's going to make Freyna a lot more difficult to actually get your hands on is some of these missions will have different drop rates for the materials. Luckily, this very first material that we're looking for has a 100% drop rate for completing this mission, so you don't have to worry about it for this step, but in the steps to come. All you're gonna have to do when you pull up to this mission is essentially clear a bunch of enemies before the remaining mission failure timer runs out, and if you can do so, you're all good. So it's very simple, very straightforward, kill people quick, and you're good to go, and we're moving on to the next step. For this next part, we're actually gonna have to switch over and play as Bunny. If you guys didn't know how to unlock Bunny or haven't unlocked Bunny yet, luckily we literally just finished covering that in the first half of this video. So go switch over, play as Bunny, and you're gonna wanna make your way over to the Void Fragment mission in Rockfall in order to unlock fragments to activate the next mission. If you guys didn't know how void fragment missions work, they are statues that start missions that can only be activated with matching attributes on certain descendants. This statue that we're going to be activating is fueled by electricity, and therefore Bunny has an electric attribute on her character, so we're going to be doing that to activate the mission. Now, once you get to this mission, you're gonna have to activate the statue with any of Bunny's electric abilities and just fight off waves of enemies. In between the pauses of waves of enemies, you're then gonna have chances to further damage the statue with electric abilities. Eventually, you'll end up destroying the statue, and if you do that, you'll earn yourself some void fragments and the mission is complete. Now, this is really nice because just down the road, you have the void reactor mission, which is where you're gonna be going to go to install the fragments you just earned off the last mission you did. Once you install these fragments, you're actually going to be fighting a couple of enemies. There's going to be 2 elite monsters to spawn, and they're a little bit difficult. If you're any decent level, you probably won't have too tough of a time, but yeah, shoot them up, kill them with some friends, and once you do that, a globe will drop out of the sky. Now, once you go into this globe to claim your amorphous material pattern, it's not quite just given. You actually have to click it and claim it. So make sure you do this. I almost made the mistake of leaving it in there. Just go in, click it, hold it, and you'll have it in your inventory. I may have made a mistake and said that you earn the Morpheus material pattern in the very first step. All I know is that every step that you've been doing before this, there were pieces that you needed to finally now claim the Amorphous material pattern. So yeah, you need this. This is very important. This is one of the key fundamental components. But now that we've actually received the blueprint on what it takes to unlock Freyna, we now have everything we need, and we just need to go track down the last 3 components because we have the instructions. And this takes us further on into the game in the story, and you will end up in Vespers. You need to be in Vespers in order to complete the rest of Freyna's building blocks, and we're starting things off with the Freyna stabilizer, which is the first item you're going to be getting your hands on. Now, when you first get into Vespers, you're going to be meeting Glay for the very first time. I don't want to get into the conversation just because I don't want to spoil anything, but you do talk to Glay, and very quickly after that, you are presented with 3 more missions. One of these missions in the very first area you are when you enter Vespers is what you're going to need to do to get the stabilizer. The specific mission you got to complete is called Ruins Path. It's a battlefield mission, and this is where the twist starts to kick in. In order to get Freyna's stabilizer, there is only a 20% drop rate upon completion of this mission. So there is a possibility you could get unlucky and maybe have to farm the mission over and over again 3 to 4 times. My friend Ramos, he had some bad luck. He had to do it like 4 times, and I ended up getting it on my like 2nd or 1st try. Moving on to the 3rd phase, in order to unlock Freyna, we're gonna now have to head to the 2nd area in Vesper, and it's called the Ruins. Now, there's 3 missions. You're gonna have to complete them all once again to even achieve the next step, but the mission specifically that you have to do to unlock Freyna's Spiral Catalyst is called the Ruins Underground Entrance. This is also a battlefield mission. There is only a 20% drop rate on this item as well. This one, I wasn't so fortunate to get. I'm pretty sure I had to do this one like 5 times. It was pretty brutal, but it's worth it once you get it. For this mission, you essentially have to make your way down a battlefield. It's not too difficult. There's a couple of waves of enemies you have to fight, and by the end of it, you're challenged with an enemy who's a little bit more difficult than usual. Bunny deals with this enemy fairly effectively with her pulse attack while sprinting around, so you shouldn't have any problems. If you do party up with some friends, I don't think you're gonna run into any trouble really. So I actually ran into another guy while I was doing this, so he made this extremely simple. But yeah, take out the mini boss at the end, I guess you could call him, if that's what you want to call him, and yeah, you should be good to go. Once again, there's only a 20% drop rate, so you might have to run this a couple of times, but luckily it's not too long. And unfortunately, that is where the smooth sailing kind of comes to an end on this journey of trying to get Freyna, because for the remainder of your time playing, you actually have to reach the end of the Vesper area in order to unlock the mission where you get the final part for Freyna. So play through the rest of the areas, make your way to the Lost Supply Depot, and you'll end up taking on 3 more main story quest lines. At the end of this area, there's honestly a pretty big mission that grants you some decent rewards. It's kind of like the halfway checkpoint for all of Vesper. So you're going to want to go clear your inventory and then make your way back to Vesper to continue the rest of it. But once you get back, you're going to make your way to Moonlight Lake, and this is where you're going to run into another set of 3 story missions. Complete all these story missions, and unfortunately they're not going to unlock you what you need for Freyna still. That is finally in the next area, and you'll finally end in an area called Timberfall. Now Timberfall is action packed. It actually has 4 story missions that you have to pound through. There are quite a few of them, and once you complete all 4 of the story missions, you'll finally be greeted with the final mission of this entire area called Calling of the Descendant, the Shelter. This mission specifically is what will grant you Freyna's enhanced cells, and it is not an easy mission. It's quite long as well. This mission is definitely something you're gonna wanna opt to queue in with public teammates. It makes it a lot easier, but you essentially have to fight 2 pretty hefty enemies along with a lot of other spammy enemies throughout this entire mission. It does show off some of the story, so I don't really want to show like the very ending of the mission, but it was a fun mission. It was a fun fight. It was honestly my first time where I was like, okay, I feel like the game's starting to test my skill a little bit. The enemies are starting to feel a little bit more beefy, and overall it was a good challenge. I think you'll have fun with it. It's not exactly a short mission whatsoever. It'll probably take you anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes to complete it all, at least off of what I remember it taking. And so if you do this mission and you don't get the drop off that 20% drop rate, you are gonna have to do it again and again and again. And that's kind of where this is gonna finish on today's video, man. I was in the process of trying to unlock Freyna for you guys today, but I wasn't actually able to get the drop. It was extremely late. I wanted to head to bed and I just couldn't fathom staying up and trying it another time. I think I did it about 3 or 4 times and still wasn't able to get the drop. I think I was just having some bad luck, to be honest. So give it a couple shots. Once you finally do complete this mission though, you will have the final component in order to take back to Albion and then craft Freyna. So yeah, that's gonna do it for the video. I hope I helped you all out. I hope I helped you unlock Bunny and Freyna. They're 2 of the most popular and sought after characters in the entire game, and I hope you guys have fun, man. Let me know how you guys have been feeling about the first Descendant down in the comments. I've been really enjoying this game, and I would love to keep sharing some more content. If you guys want to see more, please let me know who you'd like to see me make a video on next if you are wondering how to get them. And I do stream on Twitch every day. A link to that will be in the description if you guys want to catch me over there. But yeah, thanks so much for the video. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Leave a like if you guys enjoyed it. And yeah, that's gonna do it, man. Keep up, stay up. Peace out.